Hello, I'm Miss Skinner and I'm a Year 6 teacher here at Nottingham High Infant and Junior School, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 2 magic tricks that you can share with your friends and family. All you're going to need for these 2 magic tricks are a piece of A4 paper, some scissors and a bar of chocolate. I'm going to let you into a little secret before we start. It's not actually magic that makes these tricks work, but it's maths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how they work and then tell you about the maths behind the tricks. Okay, so the first trick I'm going to show you is the infinite chocolate trick because it's my favourite one. So as you can see in front of me, I've got a bar of chocolate. If I count it, I've got 4 squares along the bottom and 6 squares along the side. So if I multiply those 2 numbers together, I get 24. So I know in total I've got 24 squares of chocolate. Now I'm feeling a little bit peckish, so I'm going to treat myself to 1 square of chocolate from this chocolate bar. Now if I said to you I'm going to take 1 square of chocolate and eat it, how many squares of chocolate will I have left? You'd probably say, well, 24, take away 1 is 23. That's where the maths magic comes in. I'm going to show you a way of rearranging this chocolate bar so that you can eat 1 square but still have 24 squares left. Okay, so this is how it works. I'm going to make some breaks in my chocolate bar so that I can rearrange it and 1 piece will stay out and I'll still have 24 pieces. So, first break I'm going to do, I'm going to count up 3 squares of my chocolate bar, and from the bottom of the 3rd row to the top of the 3rd row I'm going to do a diagonal break, like that. Okay, and you might need a little bit of help from a parent if you wanted to do it really carefully, but that's how I've done it. So next one, I'm going to do a break along this line here, so I'm going to move this one across. And then the final break I'm going to do is the piece of chocolate that I want to keep, which is this one, so I'm going to pop that one to the side there. Now I'm going to rearrange my chocolate so that I can't tell that one's been taken out. So this piece is going to slide down here, and then this piece I'm going to bring round and slot into here like so. And there you go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares along the bottom and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares along the top, and yet, so I'm still left with 24 squares, and yet I've still got my piece of chocolate that I can eat. No one is going to know. So you're probably wondering how that works. Well, in order to show you, I'm going to have to put it back to how it was. So I'm going to slide this piece back up here, this one round here, and put the one that I've taken back in place. So I'm going to start off by measuring it with a ruler. So along here my chocolate bar is 7.5 centimetres. I'll just write that down there. And along here it is 16 centimetres. Now if I rearrange it like I've just done, so my break here, my break here, the one that I'm keeping, this one down here, I'm now going to measure it again. So this side, that hasn't changed, still 7.5. This one is now 15.5 centimetres, so it's actually shrunk by 0.5 centimetres. And the reason for that, because by doing a diagonal break, I've actually created a small void in between my 2 layers of chocolate, and if you look very closely you can see that this square is actually slightly bigger than this square here. So if I was to actually rearrange it so that the squares were the same height, you can see the gap that has been created, and the area of chocolate that's been taken out of each of those pieces is equivalent to the area of this 1 square. But because it's been taken out of a little bit out of each and we've pushed it together, you don't notice it. And that's how it works. So what you could do to challenge yourself is perhaps you could see, can you keep going? Could you do another line and take another row off and see if you can get away with taking another piece of chocolate and nobody knowing? Or perhaps you could try it with a different size chocolate bar, say maybe 5 squares by 8 squares. It's up to you. See what you can do and show your friends. The last thing I'm going to do is eat my chocolate. Okay, so the next trick I'm going to show you involves walking through a piece of A4 paper. Now if I were to say to you that I'm going to be able to cut a hole in this paper and I will be able to fit through it. You might look at me and think, I don't think that's possible, because if you look, my shoulders are definitely wider. I wouldn't be able to put it over my head. But I'm going to show you a way using maths that you will be able to cut a hole in a piece of A4 paper and be able to step through it. So this is how it works. So first of all, you fold your A4 paper in half. Like that. Then you're going to make some cuts in your paper from the fold to almost to the edge. Okay, it doesn't matter too much where these cuts are. They don't need to be particularly even, but you're just making sure you don't cut all the way to the edge. Doesn't matter how many you do. Okay, then I'm going to twist my paper round and I'm going to do the same thing from this side, going almost to the edge here, but I'm going to miss out my end two pieces, so I'm going to go inside the cuts that I've already done. Okay, and then all that's left for me to do is to cut along this fold line here, but again I'm going to miss out these two end pieces and I'm going to start from the inside ones. So I'm just going to cut along the fold. And then hopefully, if I pull the ends, you'll see that I've created a continuous loop of paper that has a hole big enough for me, and actually probably somebody else, to fit through at the same time. So I'm going to tell you the maths behind this trick. Now, you'd probably expect somebody, when you say, right, I'm going to make a hole in this piece of paper that's big enough for me to climb through, you'd probably expect them to say, right, I'm going to cut as close to the edge of my paper as I can, so that the hole in the middle is as big as possible, and you cut this bit out and chuck that middle bit away. But you still wouldn't fit through it. No matter how tiny you are, you probably wouldn't fit through that hole. And what you've done there is you've wasted all of this surface area of paper. So by folding it and cutting it in the way that we did, we've used every single bit of surface area of that A4 to create a perimeter of our circle, or a circumference of our circle, that's as big as we can possibly get it, and that's why the hole is big enough for you to step through. Now, if you wanted to challenge yourself with this one, perhaps you could see, can you do it with a A5 sheet of paper, so half the size? Would that work? Could you vary the size of the cuts? Could you do more cuts? So there's lots of different ways that you can challenge yourself with this one and experiment with it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching my 2 maths magic tricks, and that you enjoy sharing them with family and friends. If you do have a go at them, please tag us at Notts High IJS. We'd love to see how you get on.